Hello friends, a very warm welcome to the Crochet Hook channel. See, today we have this very beautiful crochet stitch pattern that we're going to work together. See how beautiful and how stretchy and netty it is. It feels also absolutely wonderful, and you can use it in a variety of crochet projects, be it shawls, mufflers, even capes, tops and dresses and so on. And it's a very simple pattern as well. I have worked it in two colors. See, from this chain till this last third DC, this is 5 stitches. Again, from this chain, this is 5 stitches. So horizontally, this pattern is a repeat of 5 stitches, and vertically here, row 3, 4 and 5, 6 are repeated over and over to reach the desired length of the project. And see here, I have worked it in two colors, and you can add more colors to it, and you can also simply keep this kind of row the same with the same color and add different colors on these rows and get an entirely different look. For the friends who are joining me here for the first time, please do consider subscribing to my channel. That really connects and motivates a lot. Let's get ahead. So here I have chosen yarn of my choice, a crochet hook of 2.50 millimeters and a pair of scissors. So let's get ahead. To begin with, work a slip knot, and as I have already stated, this pattern is a multiple of 5 stitches and 4 rows, and we are going to work here 8 repeats of the pattern. So I'm going to chain 40 plus 9 more chains, a total of 49 chains. So work 49 chains and then we'll begin row 1. So having completed 49 chains, we'll begin with the row 1, and we'll be working elongated DCs. So yarn over, skip 5 chains from the hook, insert the hook into the 6th chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 1 elongated DC is worked here. Yarn over into the next chain, again we'll work 1 elongated DC, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again into the next chain, again insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops, counting first chain 5 also as a DC, elongated DC. We have 4 elongated DCs worked. Now chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip 2 chains below and yarn over. From the 3rd chain ahead, we'll again work 3 consecutive elongated DCs. So insert the hook into the 3rd chain and work 1 elongated DC the same way as we just did. And this time we'll be just working 3 consecutive DCs. So yarn over into the next chain, work 1 elongated DC, yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. 1 elongated DC is worked like this. Yarn over into the next chain, again work 1 elongated DC the same way. So here we have 3 elongated DCs worked consecutively. We worked for 4 DCs here on the edge, and here we have worked 3 consecutive DCs. Chain 3 again, then again skip 2 chains below, insert the hook into the 3rd DC, work 1 elongated DC, and here again we'll work 3 elongated DCs in a row. 1, just as we did earlier. Again into the next chain, work 1 elongated DC, 2, and the 3rd one here, yarn over, work 1 more elongated DC into the next chain ahead. 3. This is what we have created. Chain 3 again. Skip 2 chains below, yarn over. Again insert the hook into the 3rd chain below, work 1 elongated DC, and we are going to work 3 elongated DCs in a row. 1 done. Yarn over into the next chain, work 1 elongated DC. The same way. Yarn over, work 1 more elongated DC into the next chain ahead. Again, we have worked 3 repeats of the pattern. Again, after this, work 3 chains, skip 2 chains below, and from the 3rd chain, work 3 consecutive elongated DCs ahead. And just like this, move till the end. I'll see you there. See, I have worked 7 repeats here, and let's end this row 1 here. Just as we did 4 elongated DCs in the beginning, we'll end with the 4 elongated DCs. So after having this last set of 3 DCs, work 3 chains, yarn over, skip 2 chains below into the 3rd chain, again work 1 elongated DC. On this end also we'll work 4 elongated DCs, 1 done. Into the next chain, work 1 elongated DC, 2. Into the next chain, work 1 elongated DC, 3. And into the next chain, the last chain here, inside the hook, work the last elongated DC of the row 1. So on either sides, we have worked 4 elongated DCs, and in between, we just have worked 3 chain and 3 elongated DC, 3 chain and 3 elongated DC till the end. This is how it looks. We'll go for the row 2 nextly. So here, to begin the row 2, I'll just bring in the new shade. If you're going for a shade change, just do it as shown here. Simply bring in the loop, chain 1 and turn the work. You can tie the knot afterwards and secure the loose ends. And then into the same DC where you just chained 1, inside the hook, work 1 SC like this. Now chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip the very next 2 DCs, and after the 2 DCs in the space there, inside the hook and work 1 SC here. On the edge we have to work like this. Then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Skip this DC, chain 3 DC, and after the first DC of the next set, in the space here inside the hook, work 1 SC. Then chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip the very next DC, and in the space after that DC here, inside the hook and work 1 SC. Simple. Chain 3 again. Skip this DC, chain 3 and the first DC of the next set. After this DC, the first DC of the next set, inside the hook and work 1 SC in the space there. Then work 5 chains. Then skip the very next DC, and into the space next to it, simply work 1 SC. Again chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Skip the DC, chain 3 and the first DC of the next set. After the first DC here in the space inside the hook, work 1 SC. Then work 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip the very next DC, and in the space between the second and the third DC of this set, work 1 SC. Atop the chain 3, in the row below we work 3 chains, so work 3 chains and then skip this 3 chain and DC, the first DC, and into the space after that work 1 SC. Then we work 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and simply here in this set skip this middle DC and simply work 1 SC in the space next to it. Just like this we have to move. This is how it looks in the row 2. Nextly, chain 3, atop the chain 3 in the row below we work 3 chains and then skip this chain 3 and the first DC of the set, and the space next to it work 1 SC. Then we chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip the very next DC and the space after that here inside the hook and simply work 1 SC. Again chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Skip the next chain 3 and DC, and the space next to it work 1 SC. Then work 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip the very next DC, and between the second and the third DC of the set here work 1 SC like this. Simple. Work 3 more chains, 1, 2, 3. Skip this 3 chains in the first DC, and the space next to the first DC work 1 SC. Then work 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip the very next DC, in the space after that inside the hook work 1 SC. Simple. Then again work 3 chains. Skip the next chain 3 and the first DC, and then inside the hook in the next space work 1 SC, and we have reached the edge here. Then work 5 chains, and this time on the edge skip 2 DCs and inside the hook atop this top 5th chain here, beginning top 5th chain, and work 1 SC to end the row 2 here. Pull the loop. This is how it looks. So to begin with, we chained 1 atop this first DC of the row below and worked 1 SC atop it. Then chain 5, skip 2 DCs, and the next space here we worked 1 SC. Then chain 3, and we skipped all this. After the first DC of the next set here we worked 1 SC. Then chain 5 and just skip the next DC, and in the next space ahead here we worked 1 SC between the second and third DC of the next set. Then chain 3, skip all this, and after the first DC of the next set in the space here work 1 SC. Then chain 5, just skip this 1 DC ahead, and in the space ahead work 1 SC here. Chain 3 again, and just simply went like that till end. To begin the row 3 here, into this very first SC of the row below. Insert the hook, pull up the loop of this first shade here and work 5 chains. 1, 2, 3. This first chain 3 stand for a DC, then work 2 more chains, that is the chain 2 gap ahead, and then yarn over and see, skip this next chain 5 and the SC here. And here we have 2 sets of 3 chains and we are going to work elongated DCs around these 2 sets. So insert the hook, pull up the loop, then work 1 elongated DC the same way as I just explained earlier in the row 1, like this. This is how it looks on the edge side. Again yarn over, insert the hook around this 2 set of 3 chains and work 1 elongated DC. Again work 1 elongated DC around the set of chain 3 here. So we have again created 3 consecutive elongated DCs, then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and again skip this next chain 5 and around these 2 sets of 3 chains, again around them work 3 elongated DCs. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop first, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 1 elongated DC worked. Again yarn over around the 2 set of 3 chains, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, again work 1 more elongated DC around the chain 3 sets here. Again 3 consecutive DCs are worked here, then chain 3, and this is how we are going to move about in this row 3. So again skip the next chain 5, again we have here 2 sets of 3 chains, around them simply work 3 consecutive elongated DCs like this, 1, 2 and 3. Simple. We are again creating the same pattern as in row 1. Chain 3, skip the next chain 5 and around the 2 sets of chain 3 here, around them simply work 3 elongated DCs, 1, 2 and 3. Simple. This is how it looks. Chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3. So we worked 5 chains here, pulled up the loop on this SC and then worked 5 chains and then skip this chain 5 here, and around the 2 sets of 3 chains here we worked 3 consecutive elongated DCs here, then chain 3 again, skip the next chain 5 in the row below, and again around the 2 sets of 3 chains here we worked 3 elongated DCs consecutively. Chain 3 again, 3 elongated DCs around the 2 sets of 3 chains, just like this. Keep working till the end. I'll see you at the end here. We'll work it together. Just move the same way till the end. Here I have worked it all the way till the end, worked my last set of 3 DCs. Let's end it together here. So work 3 chains, 1, 2 and 3. Now yarn over, insert the hook atop this SC here, the last SC of the row below, and simply work 1 elongated DC here to end the row 3 here. This is how it got ended. This is how it looks. Pull up the loop. Now we'll begin the row 4 here. So turn the work and now we want to grab this color 2. So then work 3 chains, 1, 2 and 3, and atop this DC that we just created in the row below, insert the hook and simply work 1 SC like this. Bring all the thread on one side, it will be easy to work. Then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Skip this next chain 3 and the first DC of the next set, and in the next space work 1 SC. So then after this SC, work 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip the very next DC, and in the space after that between the second and third DC of this set work 1 SC. Then atop this chain 3 we work 3 chains, so work 3 chains and skip this mid section and the first DC of the next set, and in the space next to it work 1 SC. Then again work 5 chains. 1, 2 and 3, and atop this DC of the next set work 1 SC. Then chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3, and work 3 chains, 1, 2 and 3, and work 3 chains. 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 1, 2 Again skip this next DC and into the space after that work 1 SC, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip the midsection of the 3 chain and the first DC of the next set. In the space after the first DC, insert the hook, work 1 SC like this. Chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, skip the very first this next DC and in the space next to it work 1 SC like this. Then work 3 chains. This is the same pattern that we repeated in row 2. Skip this midsection and after first DC of the next set work 1 SC, then work 5 more chains. Skip the next DC, into the space after that work 1 SC, 3 chains, work 3 chains here, skip this chain 3 and the first DC. After the first DC of the next set work 1 SC in the space there. So this is what we have been creating. Here to begin with, we first worked 3 chains with the shade 2 and worked 1 SC atop this DC here in the row below, and then worked 3 chains and skip this chain 3, and after the first DC of this DC set into this space we worked 1 SC, then chain 5, skip the next DC, into the space after that we worked 1 SC, then chain 3 and skip this midsection of chain 3 and first DC of the next set, then worked 1 SC, chain 5, skip the next DC, worked 1 SC after that, and just like that keep moving till the end. We'll work the end together. So here after this SC work 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, skip the very next DC and in the space here insert the hook and work 1 SC, and to end this round here work 3 chains, 1, 2 and 3, skip this 1 and 2 chains here, insert the hook into this third chain and simply work 1 SC to end the row 4 here. This is how this round gets ended here on this side as well. So here in the row 5, insert the hook into this SC in the row below, pull up a loop and work 3 chains, 1, 2, 3. The first 3 chains stand for 1 DC, and this row 5 is just like row 1 here. So here again we'll work 4 elongated DCs, 1 already done. So yarn over around the 2 sets of 3 chains below, work 1 elongated DC. Yarn over again around the sets of 3 chains, work 1 more elongated DC. Yarn over, work 1 more elongated DC around the 3 chain sets below. So again we have here 4 DCs worked on the edge side in the row 5 here, just like row 1 below. See? So after having created 4 elongated DCs, work 3 chains, then yarn over and skip this next chain 5, and here again we have 2 sets of 3 chains around them. Again work 3 elongated DCs. Remember, in between we work 3 elongated DCs, and it's only on the edges on both the ends that we work 4 elongated DCs. So simply work 3 elongated DCs around them like this, simple. On the edge we have 4. Everywhere else in the middle we are going to work 3 elongated DCs. Then work 3 chains, yarn over, skip this chain 5, and then again we have here 2 sets of 3 chains around them. Again work 3 elongated DCs. Simple. This row is just like row 1 below. Then work 3 chains, 1, 2 and 3, skip the next chain 5 around the 2 sets of chain 3 in the 2 rows below. Around them work 3 elongated DCs like this, 1, 2 and 3. This is how it looks. Now, just like this, keep working till the end and we'll end the round together. I have finished this pattern till the end. I have worked my last set of 3 DCs and the last set of 3 chains as well. Let's end it together. So then skip this next chain 5 and around this next chain 3, 2 sets of chain 3, yarn over and around them work 4 elongated DCs. 1, yarn over, work 1 more elongated DC around the 2 sets of 3 chains below, 2, 3 and 4. The last one here. On the edges we work 4 elongated DCs around the chain 3 sets. Simple. So This row 5 is just like row 1 below. So just pull this loop up and turn the work to begin the row 6. See, we have this shade 2 here. Insert the hook into this loop, and nextly here to begin the row 6, simply pull this loop up a little bit and insert the hook in this very corner DC atop it. Pull up a loop. You can straight away work 1 SC. I have slipped it, and then again insert the hook into the same DC and work 1 SC. Simply we wanted to create 1 SC atop it, then work 5 chains and skip the 2 DCs. After the 2 DCs in the space there, work 1 SC. Then work 3 chains. Skip this next chain 3 in the first DC of the next DC set, and after that DC in the space there, work 1 SC. Row 6 is just like row 2. Then again work 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. After the next DC in the space there, work 1 SC. Simple. Chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3. Skip the next 3 chain and the first DC, and then insert the hook in the space there, work 1 SC. Then work 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip the next DC. In the space after the very next DC, work 1 SC. Simple. Chain 3 again. Skip the next DC, chain 3 DC, and after the first DC of the next set, in the space there, work 1 SC. And so here we pulled this loop up and worked 1 SC atop the very corner DC in the row below, then worked 5 chains, skipped the 2 DCs, worked 1 SC between the third and the fourth DC, then worked 3 chains and skipped the midsection after the first DC of the next set, worked 1 SC, then chain 5, skip the next DC, worked 1 SC in the space next to it. Just like this, keep moving. You already know the pattern as you did in the row 2. So it's just like that, and keep working it till the end. We'll end it together. See, I have worked it all the way and just reach the end. Work this in the last 3 DC set. I have worked my chain 5 loop SC, and then chain 3 is also worked. So then skip the next chain 3. After the first DC of the next set, work 1 SC in the space there, then work here 5 chains. So then after the chain 5, skip 2 DCs around this chain 3 in the row below. Simply work 1 SC to end the row 6 here. This is how it looks. See how pretty this pattern is. And see, row 1 is like row 5 and row 2 is just like row 6. And here rows 3, 4, 5 and 6 are repeated over and over to reach the desired length of the project. See, just by repeating row 3, 4 and 5, 6 over and over, you can create this beautiful pattern. This is row 1, this is row 2, 1 and 2. Then we have row 3 and 4 that fall on this side. Then we have row 5 and 6 on this side, that is just like row 1 and 2. So have a closer look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6 are repeated over and over to reach the desired length. As you can see, simple pattern. I loved working it with you. Have fun learning, have fun crocheting. See you next time.